was working on better lighting, but none of that works because I need another box thingy. So I don't have enough. So I have to have this plugged. I have to have this charger on this phone. I have to have that ring light plugged. So I wasn't able to plug my other ring light out because I know I'm gonna get my light bulbs next week when I get paid. I don't particularly care to pay that much for a light bulb. I remember when light bulbs were $1. Light bulbs are almost $6. I think you might get maybe 2 light bulbs in there for $6. You used to get 2 for $1, no more than $1.50 or $2. Like they have never been this expensive. Mimosas. The people's got mimosa. I had to check myself before I wrecked myself. Because when I poured it, oh, I just caught 127. Oh, when I poured it, I sucked it down real good. I was like, this is alcohol. Just can't be sucking it down like that. Mimosas taste good. I like to drink drinks that taste good, but that be the danger in drinking drinks that taste good. You think that they are not drinks, and they are. I sound like the little boy off of the Shriners. It's one of those, yeah, I think it's Shriners commercials. You might think that my heroes are my physical therapists and my doctors and my nurse, and they are. Oh, I'm not laughing at the babies. I'm laughing because that's just funny to me. I love when I mock them because I like to hear them talk. The little girl that says this is her first time ever having cancer, and it's the very worst. And that one gets me. Like I laugh at him when he'd be like, and they are, but I don't laugh at her when I mock her. I just feel like it's the very worst because I don't even know what it would be to be them because my doctor told me I had the good cancer. I had the good cancer, you guys, the good cancer. I know why he said it. Oh, I forgot to put some moisturizer on my hands, so if my knuckles are ashy, you have got to excuse me. Welcome, 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 you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sylvie414, and I is Sylvie, your rough edge lady, just coming to bring you some of that 414, that one in the middle for some balance. You know, you see things this way, they see things that way. And we come together just to get a little bit of understanding. With some effective communication, these things can happen. Understanding does not mean that you agree or condone what someone else is doing, but just to try to understand. It's not always possible to understand. That's going to be the first thing I talked about, because Judge Lauren Lake says she couldn't bring herself to understand, but she had to make a judgment because she is the judge, and she had to determine who was going to win that case. And one thing for sure and two things for certain, what she didn't want was to tell the person that won that they won. She didn't want her to win. I didn't want her to win. But you can't do nothing about the law. The law be the law, and it is what it is. I hope y'all have, before we get into that, for real, I'm trying to put my bracelet back on. I thought I had it, well, let me put my glasses on, because maybe that's why it wasn't connected the right way in the first place, because I didn't have my glasses on. It just like fell off in my lap, and I'm like, wow, it's been on. Like when I say I've had my jewelry on for like the last 30 minutes, and it just fell off in my lap. Okay. I hope you guys have had an awesome day. I hope you guys have had an awesome week. If it was hard and stressful for any reason, I do hope that you are able to just breathe. Just breathe a few times and just relax. Let's get your relax on, because it's the weekend, baby. It's the weekend. So, My week has been a week. I've had a week. I've had some ups and some downs this week. This is the very first time that I have been live this week. This goes to tell you. And I got a word from myself on one of them throwbacks. I ain't post the throwback, but I was looking at my memories. And I got a throwback word. Welcome, 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 you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. I got a throwback that was basically saying that I had not been live in like 6 days and that I did not need to be doing that anymore. Well, guess what? That was me scolding me for this week. It was about 3 years ago. That was more along the lines when I still feel new. Like, I still feel new, and I'm still like the little guy and stuff. My bad. I was just trying to read what that had said about that chat. But like, yeah, it's been a week. It's been more than 6 days. I went live a week ago, and then my live before that, it said it was 9 days ago. My live on Facebook was a week ago. My last live on YouTube was 9 days ago, and that is no bueno. That is not discipline. I apologize, and I will do better. I'm apologizing to you guys, and I'm apologizing to me, and I will do better. Now, let's talk about this daggone mama that said that her baby could get married. Her baby. When I say her baby, people be trying to tell me, you shouldn't call your daughters your babies because they is adults. And I said, my mama called me her baby until she left this earth. And I was like 32 or something like that. So we on Lauren Lake. This baby is 14, so that's a baby. What I just want to know, I can't understand it. Because Lauren Lake, this is Arkansas we're about to talk about. She said there are a lot of states with those archaic laws. I just said that she did not want to give the judgment that she gave. She had no choice. It was the law. Daddy was bringing mama to court. And let me just go into what I don't get before I start. You have to be 18 to do most anything. You have to be 18 to buy alcohol. You have to be 18 to buy cigarettes. You have to be 18. I think something is 21 again, for real. I could be wrong because I think something is 21 again. But you got to be at least 18, from 18 to 21 to go into the military. You got to be that old to do these things. Why is it that you can be 14 and get married? Why is it that you could be 15 and decide that you don't want to be a little boy or a little girl anymore and go and have that surgery? Why is that? So daddy brought mama to court because mama signed off on consent for the baby to get married to the babysitter. The 21-year-old babysitter that came in, and the baby said, she let me stay up longer than my mom did, and she let me eat everything that my mom didn't let me eat. She told me I could date whoever I wanted to. Judge Lake said, where did she get the authority to tell you that? Mama consented, though. Mama consented on giving her baby to the predator. That's why we got to get out of this vein of thinking that a woman won't do it, because this is not just a man's. We talking woman predator. Boop, 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 boop. Woman predator. Judge Lake asked mom, because daddy was furious. He was coming to try to get it overturned. He was furious. Yes, daddy was furious. He didn't understand why his 14-year-old son was married. Neither did Judge Lake or myself. Because his mama kept saying, he acts much older than he is. And Judge Lake and I said at the same time, well, he sounds like a boy right now. Sound like a boy. The second time that she said it, Judge Lake said, Judge Lake had asked her straight up and down, why did you let him do that? She said, because he's so much more mature than what he is. He's about to be 15, but he's so much more mature. Judge Lake says he sounds like he's 8 when he's standing there. If you could have heard him, if you could have heard the baby talking, he sounded like he was 8. I concur. Daddy did not win that case because he did not live in the same state. So he could not overturn it. Judge Lake said, if I hired a 21-year-old to babysit my son, and she said she has a 12-year-old son, if I hired a 21-year-old to babysit my son, and she started having a romantic relationship with him, I don't know what I would do to keep my composure. That's the judge talking. Like, how you let that baby was acting like a baby. He was acting like his age. He was acting less than his age. Like I said, Judge Lake said he's acting 8 right now. He's 14 acting 8. You know, they say that we mature faster than they do anyway. So I don't give any leeway. I think I've said that before. I don't give any leeway if you're an adult and your mindset is down there where theirs is. You had best go find an adult whose mindset is down there where theirs is. Because the God is not pleased with you messing with these babies. No. It's 2 words. In Strong's exhaustive concordance that we associate with homosexuality. One of those words is the word effeminate. Effeminate is the word that says that the verse that speaks about homosexuals not inheriting the kingdom of God. In the King James Version, that word is effeminate. When you go into Strong's exhaustive concordance and you look up effeminate, the first word is catamite. When you go and define catamite, catamite is an adult person who is having relations with a male child. So you then go and say that that male child is LGBTQ because that's abuse. That is abuse. That is predator. Boop, 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 boop. Man predator. That's what that is. The other one is arsenotoikoi. Now, excuse me, let me go back to effeminate because it then goes into saying homosexual behavior, but it's still homosexual behavior with a child. A child is not just thinking about doing anything sexual until some adult, like woman predator and male predator, come and put it in their mind. Like that 21-year-old babysitter said, you could date anybody you want to. Except for you. You're an adult. So then when you go down into the definitions, and I learned about them definitions in school because I like words, and the most important definitions are the definitions that are the first ones, but we don't get on that because we is always trying to condemn the LGBTQ. But we not condemning these man predators and these woman predators. Boop, 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 boop. Man predator, woman predator. We're not condemning them. We're not even talking about it. Now let's talk about arsenotoikoi. Let's talk about arsenotoikoi. Because that one tries to be real slick about it. Because the first definition there tries to make you think that it's just a man and a man. But I challenge you to go look up the etymology of the word male and see what you get. Because a male can be your baby when you bring him home from the hospital. That's a male child. It's not a man child because he ain't a man yet. Go look up the definition of boy. Yeah, go to etymonline.com and look up the definition of boy and see how much the definition, the people that gave the definitions care about a boy. And there was probably a boy that made the definition. So that first definition is man lying with male. Guess what the second one is? Sodomite. You know, we've always learned that Sodom and Gomorrah was a whole bunch of LGBTQ, and that's why God destroyed it, because there was a whole bunch of LGBTQ. Let me find out them men in Lot house wanted what they was coming after them to get. Let me find out. No, they ain't want that. That is male predator. Boop, 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 boop. Male predator, baby. What are we going to say about that? Because then comes homosexuality. Down the line. But we want to put that at the top of the line. And we want to let these male predators and these female predators just get away with their man. The God said it's not going to happen. I was listening to Pastor Ray. I hadn't even planned on talking about that. Pastor Ray. He's on TikTok. I forget. I don't know if he goes under the unction on TikTok, but on YouTube, it is the unction. Go check out the unction. I like that dude. Like, first and foremost, he said the genome movement, his words, not mine, the genome movement and the Hebrew movement, he considers those as cults. He considered those as cults. And he said, because one thing for sure and two things for certain, I've said it time and time again. I listen to a few dudes on YouTube that make my skin crawl. O'Shea Jackson, Duke Jackson don't even make my skin crawl, but a few of these dudes that I be watching on YouTube, they make my skin crawl. But I know that God has me like dealing with these these skin me crawlers for a reason. Because there is some truth in what they be saying. But it does not make, all I've been saying is Gino is in that same verse where it says, where the King James Version says the effeminate. Now, I was saying, and I had told Boo, you can't really put that effeminate on a female, but the Quran proved me wrong today, and I've been saying that for a little minute. You can't really put that effeminate on a female because females are already effeminate. But the Quran, I tell you, don't let your speech be too effeminate in certain cases, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But yes, effeminate is acting feminine. You're not supposed to do that. And I've talked with people. I say some will consider simp men effeminate. Simp men, excuse me. I don't just be walking around calling men simps, but some of these fellas on YouTube do when their wives are running over them, when their wives are running the households, which I don't agree with. I don't agree with it. He's not a man for you to run the household. Now, do I agree with Ringo TV saying that if you choose somebody that's going to take you out of this world, then you just got to stay there and get taken out? Yeah, no. Neither does the unction, because he calls that criminal behavior. So if he said, if those are the things you were doing, that's what I brought him up for. If those are the things you're doing, if you feel like it's okay to mistreat a woman, that's mistreating a woman. Because don't it say that he who finds a wife finds a good thing? So how you going to put it on the woman then, Ringo? He went out and found somebody that he wanted to take out. Because at some point, you got to take responsibility for your own actions. Now, we're going to talk about that effeminate in the Quran, because it's kind of, I understand it. Look, it's the understand. It's the understand. It's the understand. Because that's kind of along the same lines. Along the same lines of, like, you can't take responsibility for your own actions. But I understand, because there are the crazies out there. And to walk in wisdom, they're speaking about married women, but I think any woman can take the advice that I'm going to give, as far as that Quran scripture goes. But yes, I'm just, the unction was talking about the men in the church that feel like, because he said Jamal Bryant is an infection. He didn't say he has an infection. He said he is an infection. Now, anytime you walking around talking about some Christ was out of order for 28 years of his life, and there needs to be new scripture because men are having sex, like, look here. Let me go ahead on and tell us what Kiki said, because we're going to talk about it, because one of my verses kind of goes to that as well. You see the depths of our heart and you love us the same. You are amazing, God. God does see the depths of our hearts, and he loves us the same. That does not mean that God, if the word is unchanged, if the word is the same today, yesterday, and forevermore, and any changing of the word, because the word says don't add, don't subtract, but it has been done, that is by humans. What God is not going to do is bend and twist to everything we want. Do you know about God would be a whole knot if he bended and twisted to everything that we want? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Jamal, God is not going to make another word so that you can feel comfortable in the fact that you don't want to go out here and get no self-control about yourself. You're supposed to be lowering your gaze. I just posted that video, lowering your gaze. You're not supposed to be saying, God, change it. We do not serve an emotional Most High God. We do not. Y'all see that title? We the people. The egos and emotions. Men run by their egos and women by their emotions. And God wants us to get that in check. The unction spoke about men messing with the daughters and all the people that's out there trying to mess with the babies. And that's all I've been wanting to hear, because you don't hear about that. But you hear preachers screaming from the rooftop, LGBTQ, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Ain't nobody telling these man and woman predators that they going to hell. Let's talk about it. Boop, 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 man and woman predator. You might go under the hell. The God might put you way down there, messing with these babies and thinking it's okay. That part. Hey. That part. So yes, y'all go check out the unction, Pastor Ray. I sat down and I watched him probably for about 3 hours the other day. And the only reason that I watched him is because I was watching O'Shea Duke Jackson. Y'all go check out O'Shea. I'm talking about man and woman predators. My first story that I was talking about was Lauren Lake and the mother that signed off for her, gave consent for her 14-year-old son to get married. Gave consent for her 14-year-old son to get married, and daddy was there trying to overturn it, and he couldn't because he was living out of state. Lauren Lake said if you'd have been in the same state, she would have had to check with you, but because you weren't in the same state, that is crazy. I think it's crazy the way that is done. Like, when I say that dad was livid, and I just jumped into the unction because I got some things I got to talk about. I can't just, because I gotta talk about what I got to talk about. But if you tell me what about gypsies you want to talk about, I can research it and I can talk about it the next time I come live. I have no problem with that. But I jumped into the unction because he was talking about Jamal Bryant, and when I watched O'Shea Duke Jackson, he first showed a Tasha K video. So when he showed the unction speaking about it, I said, let me go check him out. And I checked him out and I watched a few of his videos where he began to talk about babies being hurt. And I gave the definitions also of 2 words because we like to, a lot of times you're going to hear the church coming for the LGBTQ, but we're not coming for these men and women predators. And those are the definitions. The same definitions that hit the LGBTQ, they hit the man and woman predator first. But we don't talk about that. We are dead set on only speaking about the LGBTQ. And we need to be dead set on speaking about these men and women predators. I was also watching the behavioral arts. I watched him do the body language for Mark Zuckerberg during the they had all of the platforms had to go before the Senate because of all of this stuff going on with the babies on social media. Now, my take on that, I understand. I definitely understand. Parents, I really don't, because it starts at home. It starts at home. Like, what your babies are doing on the internet, you buy them their phones, you give them access to the internet, you do all of that. But y'all really want social media and the people that own it to control such big platforms, and not to say that they don't have a responsibility, because they was coming at the senators as well as they had TikTok CEO up there, they had Snapchat CEO up there, they had Mark Zuckerberg up there, because he's Facebook and Instagram, and who else? X. They had the CEO. It wasn't Elon, because he the owner, but he not the CEO. It's a woman CEO of X. But behavioral arts, that's Spidey, y'all. Y'all go check out the behavioral arts. He honed in on Mark Zuckerberg. And all that I wanted to say about that is shout out to Senator Tillis, because the behavioral arts was talking about how if there was anything that you wanted to try to get out of Mark Zuckerberg, every time those senators started speaking to him, you shut him down. You made him shut down because you wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise. You kept cutting them off. All of your emotions and your ego was just coming at him. And then Senator Tillis got up there. And when Senator Tillis started speaking, all I thought about was what my pastor said about God. When God come to us, God gonna hit us with the good first. Then God gonna scold us. And then God gonna hug us at the end. So we'll know that we are loved. That's kind of how Senator Tillis approached it. Senator Tillis was my grandmother. She got a Facebook, and this helps her to be able to stay in contact with the family and da-da-da-da-da. And I mean, it was really nice. He was like, I know that it wasn't your intention for all of this mayhem to be going on, because they spoke about the unalivings that have been going on with the children, and some of the children just being traumatized because they're getting met with all of this explicit type of content and predators coming at them and this, that, and the other on these social media platforms. But as I said, all parties involved need to take responsibility, including the parents. But Senator Tillis was the one that showed the most compassion to Mark Zuckerberg. He said, if you're trying to get something out of someone, that's how you need to approach it. Because when you just steady, you shut somebody down, they don't want to talk no more. They don't want to talk. And Spidey said that Mark Zuckerberg has been diagnosed with a mild case of Asperger's. I looked up the new name. It's not called Asperger's anymore. I forget what it's called. Some kind of communication syndrome. Behavioral communication syndrome. Something to that effect. But put in the chat what you want to talk about, because I don't even know what gypsy is. I mean, unless you're speaking about a gypsy. I see you say her mama, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But if you put something in the chat that you want to hear me talk about, I'm more than happy to go and research it so that we can talk about it. So, look, y'all. I just threw this in here since we were talking about Ringo TV, also talking about if you're a woman and you get a husband that likes to put his hands on you, that you just have to suffer through that. And if you become unalived, So on the better hand of marriage, although it wasn't particularly going to be the better hand, I was watching Lovely T, and she was saying that there was a she had a person in her chat that's one of her subscribers, and she also runs a fan page for Cardi B, and she says that the fan page was getting in the way of her marriage, and Lovely T told her, you need to come off that fan page and go get your husband some head. Might make it work. Might make it better. But you can't just be putting Cardi before your husband and thinking that you gonna keep your husband. That's all I think that she was trying to say with that. That's all that I think that she was trying to say with that. Let's read this proverb scripture right quick. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city. For she sitteth at the door of her house on a seat in the high places of the city. That's Proverbs 9 and 14. We have Genesis 31 and 7. And your father have deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered them not to hurt me. We're going to break those down in a little bit. I'm going to go over the Maccabees and the Surah verse before I start breaking it down. Ringo TV also talked about, he was, this one is a little older. He was talking about Kelly Price when she was calling out the gospel industry. She called out some people that were on Sunday's Best. She didn't say who it was, but she called out some people that were on Sunday's Best. But she kept referring to how hood she is, how you don't want to take her there. And I understand that. She was not raised in the church, it sounds like. It sounds like she came to the church as an adult. I be seeing them shirts all the time that be talking about I'm half Jesus and half hood, or stuff like that. And I understand it. I promise you, I understand. First and foremost, I don't like shirts with a lot of words on it, so I'm probably not going to be caught. Even if I like a saying, probably not going to just go get a shirt with words on it, because that's not who I am. That's not what I do. But I digress. If God is telling us to be meek, which is not being a doormat or a punk. God has never called us to be a doormat, a punk, or anything like that. But God calls us to a place of self-control, because if your emotions and the behavioral arts talked about that, that's what he was talking about with the senators. Like, y'all were allowing y'all's emotions to get the best of you. Then these were men and women. The woman was the worst. The woman was the worst, but the man was bad. And when you allow your emotions to get a hold of you, you cannot move effectively and efficiently. God has been telling me that through many people, not just through the Bibles, not just through a soft answer turns away wrath, not just through the fact that God had to put me in a whole shut-up season for 2 whole years, maybe 3, so that I could get some sense about myself. But when you are in control of your emotions, you are more apt to effectively communicate. And you remember I always say at the beginning, 414, that one in the middle, so we can effectively communicate to try to get some understanding. And the behavioral arts he talked about knowing that some of the stuff that Mark Zuckerberg was saying, he's a behavioral analyst. He's body language specialist, psychologist. He did all of that. Sociologist, excuse me. He went to school for sociology. So he does all of that. But these emotions and these egos, they are contrary to real growth, real maturity. Because as long as you're walking around in an emotional state or an egotistical state, that's a defense mechanism. Best believe it. Look, I go to a whole Kimberly that made me write out my anger diagram and what was the emotion that got you there and what are emotions that are connected to it. And I finally started doing it. Yeah, Yeah, I got in the little ways the other day and I had to breathe. And look, because I'm queen, let's breathe. I am queen, let's breathe. But the other day I breathed just to suppress, and that's no bueno. You don't breathe to suppress. You breathe to get under control. Mimosa, y'all. Mimosa. Mimosa. Let's see here. Maccabees. 2nd Maccabees 7:24. Now Antiochus, thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be reproachful speech, whilst the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths, promises. He promised him some things and some stuff, that he would make him both a rich and a happy man. I'm going to make you rich, boy, and I'm going to make you happy. Come on and eat this pork. If you just eat this pork, I'm going to give you all the money that you want. I'm going to make you happier than you want. If he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with his affairs. So then I'm gonna let you be my friend, because you know I'm the king. And you special if you the king's friend. So if you come on and turn from the laws of your father and just come on and eat some of this bacon. Eat this sausage. Come on, eat some of this barbecue. Come on, take a bite. Bite that pork chop. Please and thank you. Then I'm going to let you be my friend. Then I'm going to let you be in charge of some stuff. Then I'm going to give you all the money. People, don't let money change you. Almighty dollar. Do things, bad things, baby, for the love of money. He was like, nope. He was like, nope. You good, I'm good. Fry me up in the pan, because he had frying pans out there for peoples. Yeah, that's what he said in the beginning with the first brother. Go on, put the fire up under them pans. We're going to put the peoples in the pans. If they don't want to eat what I'm cooking in the pans, then we're going to put them in the pans. That's what King Antiochus had done said in the Maccabees. Surah al-Asab 33 and 32. O wives of the prophet, you are not like any other woman. If you are mindful of Allah, then do not be overly effeminate. Do not be overly. I mean, you look. Didn't I say that God don't want us to do anything and totally overly effeminate? Because I was saying, how is a woman gonna walk in? How is a woman gonna be called to effeminate? How is a woman gonna fit in effeminate? And if you being overly, if you is being overly, then that's what's gonna happen. Overly effeminate in speech. Do not be overly effeminate in speech with men, or those with sickness in their hearts may be tempted, but speak in a moderate tone. You don't never know. That's why I said I'm going to just go ahead on and break that one down. You don't never know who you're talking to. And I think that it said, as a matter of fact, the reading did say, Muslim women, you're not just supposed to be talking, and I've read that before, like you were just supposed to talk to your family. That's both. That's both ways. The man and the woman. You're not just supposed to be out there talking to other women. You're not just supposed to be out there talking to other men. You're just supposed to really talk to your family. But if you need to talk to other men, you are supposed to do it in a way that does not sound alluring or seductive. You're supposed to be watching your speech, because you don't know if evil listening and being tempted. And that's where I said that I can understand that although that we are to be in control of our own members, everybody not in control of their own members. So that's just like, to me, that's just like driving for everybody. You're not just driving out there for yourself when you out there on them interstates, them highways and them byways. You got to drive for everybody. You have to be cautious of everything that's going on around you. And that's what this verse is speaking about, being cautious of everything that's going on around you. Y'all, let's talk about a few things that Monique has said. Because Monique has already said these things first and foremost. And, you know, Club Shay invited her on because Club Shay knew that just like when he invited, I can't not do that name twice. So it's always going to be just one Shay over here. It's no disrespect. His name is Shannon. So if I only just want to do one Shay, or it's going to be Shannon because I'm not going to do two. But the same reason he invited Kat on, because he wants likes and views, and they bring them. And they fiery, and they're controversial. But one thing for sure and two things for certain. There's some things that she said that you can't deny. One of them is, because before I even say that, I believe that a lot of times the peoples, we be out here looking at these, and I be included, and I'm not gonna say I'm not so caught up to feel like nobody that I love can't do nothing wrong, cause you know they talk like my favoriteest artist in the world might have been Woman Predator. Ain't no proof been out, and you know when it happens to young men, they think that it's a good thing. That's why that little 14-year-old boy was up there just hollering, "Oh, she loves me. Oh, I love her." You couldn't even really say anything more than that. You probably couldn't even say what you love about her and make it make sense. Not in a mature way. But it was said that Mary J. Blige, I forget the dude's name that was on, was it Mark Curry? I think maybe it was Mark Curry that was on Bad Boys, and they saying that was supposed to be a thing, and he was underage. And old Hove, he going, you know, they starting to call Hove name the two Seans, because I watched the video, watched Lovely T, and it started off with Diddy, and Diddy was like, he is the only person in the world that could call me Sean. So the two Seans, they going through their thing. I've never really been a big Diddy fan. I've been a fan of Diddy artists. I was a big Biggie fan. Never really been a Diddy fan. But I'm definitely a Hova fan. Definitely a Hova fan. I have Jay-Z Radio downloaded on my Spotify, and it plays other artists, but it's going to mainly play artists from New York, and I'm a New York chick, and so I like New York hip-hop. It just is what it is. It's my preference. And the people that they play that are not from New York, I love them too, for the most part. They go on to Georgia with it. I think they go to Texas with it from time to time. But that's neither here nor there. I said all that to say that we sometimes take this viewpoint or this outlook on these celebrities like they can do no wrong. I see so many people jump to the defense of people they don't know. I'm not just going to instantaneously jump to the defense of Mary J. Blige or Jay-Z, because why? I don't know them and they don't know me. Me and Mary J. Blige shared a whole same birthday. I still don't know her, and she don't know me. So for me to just jump to her defense like she can't do no wrong, did it kind of hit me in the chest a little bit when they said that she might be been out here messing with little boys? Yeah, it did. Did it hit me in the chest when I found out about Jay-Z? And look, I'm finding out that him and Beyonce ain't been even living together for the last few years. Is what's being said. Like, Storm Monroe was like she didn't want to be at the he act like he says he has sources. She ain't want to be at them Grammys, but she went to put on the front for the family. But I wasn't really, I wasn't really here for the speech, the Jay-Z speech. Everybody was all on the speech. Like, I'm not a bandwagoner. And Kanye already did it. Y'all didn't like the messenger. That's one of the things Monique said. Sometimes the truth brings a messenger that you don't want to hear from. You didn't want to hear from Kanye. You didn't want to hear from Monique. Y'all rather have heard it from Jay-Z and Taraji. And it was already said. It was said, is already said. You can't turn back from that. She said on stage, one person, on stage, they're one person, and off stage, they're a different person. She was speaking about her, but that's period. Jay-Z speaks about his persona in one of his songs. I forget which one it is. He speaks about it being a persona. People get out there and gonna show you their best face, the persona. But real folks, the realest folks, you might not see their best face all the time. Cat Williams, Monique, you might not see their best face all the time, but some folks gonna get out here and try to show you their best face like they is the best people, and them the ones that you might want to challenge, because that's unreal. That's unreal. For somebody to act like they don't make no mistakes, they don't do nothing wrong. And then just to be defended just because it's a person that make money. There's a black person out there, they making money, so that means they can't do nothing wrong. I will continue to say, Kanye said, the people hire